And I pity the fool that thinks that they're actually doing something. That's why the Bible says that folly is in the heart of a child, and folly is an unruly woman. And not in terms of white supremacy or the orders of this world, but unruly when it comes to the divine order, which is the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. In order to skip through the nonsense when we're talking about Greek mythology or Western culture, you need to start off with the moral order, and you need to focus on that as what they're missing. Okay? They try to play the game or try to find another way to replace what can't be replaced, which is what God set apart as the moral order. So when we explain, why are they wrong? Why is Western culture wrong? Why is Eastern culture wrong? Why are other African cultures wrong? Why are other cultures and philosophies wrong? Because they're missing what God gave us, what nature gave us, which is the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. And after I'm gone, there will be no moral order. There'll be a bunch of token minorities pretending, a bunch of white supremacists pretending. And so we see that's what they're missing. And so they choose to worship their flesh and psychology and to lie about God and to visualize something that's false. You know, they're practicing falsehood. And they're also fuming. That's why my voice changed just now the way it did. Okay, so now let's talk about how feminists and conservatives try to put themselves above what is universally ideal. And before I bring this up, let me reinforce the truth here. I'm not racist. And I know that when I talk about this, as I've been predicting for literally years now, that I'm going to be sabotaged more, I'm going to be poor. That's the most likely outcome. And that when I die, when my flesh dies, that is, because my soul will never, I'll have been poor and persecuted my whole life, and people will kind of make my life harder for telling this stuff and not easier. But I still say it because it's the truth, because I'm a man, because I put God first and foremost. So the ideal person is me, the top martial artist ever possible, and I'm from a black African patriarchal line, as you would expect. And I bring this up all the time, not because I'm rubbing it in or boasting, because this is essential here. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And who am I? Well, they have stories and mythologies that confuse this. And so I have to set the record straight to show people the way. And if people work together to suppress me and everyone's in their spirit and everyone's in rebellion and they miss their chance, well, that's how it goes. When you're in rebellion, that's what happens. When your families hand you over to rebellion, like Greek mythology, like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and Hinduism, and every other religion out there, every other philosophy, and they've handed you over to the devil to waste your life, and that's always been the ancient paradigm, right? There's the order and telling the truth and being fair to the wisest and the best, me. The wisest and the best of all time, the top martial artist ever, and there's rebellion against that, and there's generational rebellion, which is the worst form. So after many thousands of years, in most cases, of generational rebellion, they've finally forsaken their kids, and the Messiah will come and go without them ever knowing that I'm here on this trajectory, that is. And of course, no one should reproduce no matter what. So what is the ideal person, right? Again, it is not somebody who's a feminist. It's not someone who's conservative. It's not somebody who's a racial supremacist. It's not somebody who is a different kind of mulatto. It is me. And there's only going to be one of me for all time. And if you lose that point of reference, what happens? That's why it's called idolatry, right? Idol at tree, at idol, alpha tree, what have you. They're not following the ideal, so they're dull, and they're wasting away like a dumb Barbie doll slut or something. So without divine leadership, you have set leadership, and the word waste is a play on words for way set. And if you don't believe that wordplay is sound, you should understand the idea is sound.